Hey there! Thanks for checking my channel, Code Rush, and for joining me as I document the process of learning to code. I'm at the landing page project where I have to create an entire web page from a design they provide. But these requirements are mostly visual this time, so I'm given 2 pics to guide me throughout the exercise, and I've already opened them in the browser. The first one is with the outcome. This is how my web page should look at the end of the exercise. And the second one has brief instructions regarding colors and font styles I should use. Okay, I've already went through the project and found my solution, which visually is very similar with what they ask here. But I still have my doubts if it's correct. I guess there are many ways to recreate the design of the landing page, and the most important thing here in this project is to put to practice the Flexbox knowledge I've acquired in this chapter, so I will focus on that. But I admit it's still frustrating not knowing exactly if my code is correct. And talking about frustrations, my virtual machine is another one because for some reason it decided to stop connecting to the internet. This is not the first time it happens, but it's the first time I've decided to stop wasting time in trying to fix it and see it more as a push to create the projects on my Windows host outside the virtual machine, which was my intention from the beginning because I'll be stuck with the Windows host. Okay, so for this reason, I've already made on my desktop a repos folder, which contains another folder called images, and inside I have the images I'm gonna use for this project. They are all images with cute kittens, since I've decided that my landing page will be for a cat adoption center, and they were all taken from the links they provide for free pics to use. I've also saved the sources of the images in a list, the names of the users and the links where I took them, and I will copy this list as they suggest here in the README file to give credits for the pics. Okay. Oh, and another thing regarding the images, I had to crop the 4 vertical pictures that I will use in the gallery, so here, because they didn't have the same width and height, and using them like that would have stretched them. I found it to be a more faster solution than trying to find images that have the same size. Okay, what else? They have a huge section here warning me about looking at other people's finished project code before I have completed my own, which seems fair enough. So whoever sees this, I hope you really try to find your own solution before. Again, mine might be faulty. I'm a beginner also, so I'll make a lot of mistakes in these videos. The first thing I need to do is to set up my project's GitHub repository. I have GitHub opened in the browser. I'm gonna click the plus button, new repository, and I'm gonna name it landing page. Okay, it's set to public by default. I'm gonna add a README file and I'm gonna click create repository. Now I have a new repository on my GitHub account called landing page with a README file. Now I'll press the code button and copy the SSH link. I have my Visual Studio Code opened here, but it's empty. And I'm gonna do this. Drag and drop the repos folder into the Visual Studio Code to open it, because here is where I want to clone my landing page repository. I can already see the images folder here. I will open my terminal, and here I will write git clone and the link I've just copied from GitHub. And here it is, the landing page folder. If I open now, I have it here next to my images folder. So the landing page repository was cloned in my repos folder next to the images folder. The images are not part of the landing page repository yet. I will have to move them in the landing page folder also to make them part of the repository. But first I want to finish with the README file. And for that, I will delete this landing page tag. I'm gonna copy my sources list here. Okay. And add from this page the link. I'm gonna write project landing page from Odin Foundation, and I'm gonna put the link here. Okay, so I'm gonna copy the first sentence and modify it a bit. Okay, so for this project, I'll have to create an entire web page from a design given and use my Flexbox knowledge. I have the link, I have the sources. Okay, and I guess that's enough. I'm gonna save it. Now, because I'm in my repos folder, I will have to cd into my landing page folder. So cd. And now I'm inside my landing page folder, the folder of my repository. Okay, now I can write git add readme.md, and after I've added in my staging area, I can commit the readme file. So git commit edit project info and sources for images. Okay, now I've committed the changes I've done into the readme file, and I can also git push origin main. Just to see how it works from the Windows host also. Now if I refresh here, I have the information I've written in my readme file. Not exactly the way I've imagined it. I was expecting sort of a list for the sources, but whatever. So let's go back to the project. Okay. And I forgot to read the assignment, so I'm gonna go quickly through it. Don't forget to commit early and often. Okay, I've already started to do that. Download the design images and take a look at what you're going to be creating here. I haven't downloaded the images, but I have them opened in my browser. The font that's being used in the images is Roboto. I hope I'm saying it right, Roboto. Okay. And to use this font, I had to go to the Google Fonts website. And here I can search for Roboto. Here it is, 12 styles. I can click on it. And I can click Get Font button to take it, but I will come later for that. Okay. They also say here that hero text is the statement that appears at the top of a web page. And here I got a bit confused with this definition, but also with their brief instructions. They say here that hero and footer have a dark background color. And if I go to the design, I can see a dark background color on the upper section of the design and also on the bottom section. So this is the footer, and I guess this is the hero. But to me, it would have been more logic if there would be here two sections, one for the header with header logo and the header links 1, 2, and 3, and a second section with the hero text and the image. Apparently this is not the case. Here it's only one section, and it's made clear from the instructions picture, but also because a few lines below they say the website you're creating has 4 main sections and a footer. So going back again to the design, it's 1 section, 2, 3, 4, and the footer. Again, here it's only 1 section on the upper part of the design, which includes the header and the hero text with the image. Let's see what else is here. There are many ways to tackle a project like this, and it can be overwhelming to look at a blank HTML document and not know where to start. Our suggestion: take it 1 section at a time. The website you're creating has 4 main sections and a footer, so pick one and get it into pretty good shape before moving on. Starting at the top is always a solid plan. For the section you're working on, begin by getting all the content onto the page before beginning to style it. In other words, do the HTML and then do the CSS. You'll probably have to go back to the HTML once you start styling, but bouncing back and forth from the beginning will take more time and may cause more frustration. And this is exactly how I'm gonna approach this exercise. I'm gonna first write the entire HTML and after that style it. Oh, this is very important. You don't need to use more than one style sheet. So I will have to do all the styling on one CSS file. Okay. Many of the elements on this page are very similar to things you saw in our Flexbox exercises. Feel free to go back to those if you need a refresher. Okay. Do not worry about making your project look nice on a mobile device. We'll learn that later. When you finish, don't forget to push it up to GitHub. So these are all the instructions they provide here. Let's go back to the picture with the design. Okay, so they said 4 sections, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the footer. Besides this, what's very noticeable in this image is that the information is centered. I can notice here the header is exactly on the same line as the hero text, which goes exactly on the same line as the call to action card. So I will have to find a way to center this information and make it line up like this. First, I will have to create divs for each section with different class names. So the first section will be hero section, the second section will be info section, the third section will be code section, and the fourth section sign up section. Of course, the last one will be footer. Simple, no section, just footer. Okay, and inside these section divs, I'm gonna create a container for the content in each section. Okay, but I think I will show it much better while I write the code. So I will make this browser smaller. And I'm gonna create in the landing page folder. So here, okay, an index.html file. And inside I'm gonna put the basic and very necessary HTML boilerplate. And before starting anything, I'm gonna git add, git commit the index file also. So I'll save it first. I'll start with the first section, the hero section. And to make it easier and more visible, I will also use comments. So hero section. And for this, I will create a div with the class hero section. Okay. I'm gonna finish first with all the sections. So getting to the second one. It's easier to just copy paste them and modify here info. This is the info section. And also modify the class here with info. Okay. The third one will be the code section. Okay. The fourth one, I'll call it sign up section. And the last one will be the footer. Simple, no section, just footer. And the class will be the same, simple footer. Okay, so here I've just created divs for each of the 4 sections and the footer also. I'm gonna save it and I'm gonna git add and commit the changes. And now inside each of the divs with the section class, I will create a container. So inside the hero section, I will have the hero container. I'm gonna copy it again. Inside the info section, I'll have the info container. Okay. Inside the code section, I will have the code container. And inside the sign up section, I will have the sign up container. I will leave the footer as it is. Again, git add, git commit. Okay, now I will add the entire content of this design. exactly as it is here. And after that I can personalize it and make my own landing page for the adoption center. But first I want to recreate it as it is here. Inside the hero container, which is inside the hero section, I will have two other main divs, one for the header with the header logo and header links, and the second one for the hero content. So I will create two divs. The first one will be with the class header. Okay. And the second div will have a class of hero content. So the div with the header class is for the header line, and the div with the class hero content is for the entire section with hero text and image. Okay. Inside the header, I will make another div with the class logo text. And inside this div, I will write header logo. Because I'm using text and not an image, I've named the class logo text. Okay. I'm gonna click the Go Live button to see exactly how it looks. Okay, so I have the header logo. Below the logo text div, I'm gonna create an unordered list for the 3 links. And inside the unordered list, I will first make an li. And inside the li tag, I'm gonna use a link. So I will use a tag. And for the href, I'm gonna use a hashtag because it goes nowhere. Okay, and inside it I'm gonna write header link 1. Okay, so I have the header logo and the first link. To create the other two, I'm gonna copy the li. And I'm gonna change the numbers here with 2 and 3. Okay, and now I finished with the header line. And all the content is inside the div with the class header. And now I will add the rest of the content inside the hero content div. And I will add it by dividing it again into 2 divs. The first one will be for the left side. And I'm gonna add a class of hero text. Okay, and the second one will be for the image. So below the hero text div, I'm gonna create another div with the class hero image. And the hero text has what seems to be an h1, and I'll create an h1. I'm not gonna give it a class because it seems to be the only h1 heading on this page. So this website is awesome. And right under the h1 heading, I will create a paragraph. So P with the class of secondary text, and they say here hero secondary text. This is the main one, the H1. And this is the secondary. That's why I named it the class secondary text. Okay, I'm gonna copy the text they have here. Okay, and I also need to add below it a button for the sign up button I have here. And because I have two buttons, I will also make a class for it of hero button. Okay, and I will also have to add the image here. And because, again, this is not the only image on the page, I will have to give it a class. And I will give it a class of hero image, but written like this. Okay. And the source for this image, I leave it empty for now because the images folder is not yet included in the landing page repository. So I will let the source for now empty. Okay, I'm gonna git add git commit. Now I will go to the info section, so the second section, and inside the info container, I will add an H2 heading with the text some random information as in the image. And below, I will have to create div for a gallery because I'm considering the space that has the images and the text an info gallery. Because it's the info section, it will be an info gallery div. And each image, together with the text below it, will be an info card. Inside the info gallery, I will create a div with the class info card for the first card. And inside I will have an image. I'm gonna leave it like this for now. And below I will have to create a paragraph element for the text. So P with a class of part text. And I'm gonna write the text that's there. And I finished with the first card, which is this div with the class info card that has inside an image and a paragraph with the text. Okay, and I'm gonna copy this card 3 more times. One, two, three. Okay, let's see how it looks. Here should be the image. And I can add and commit the changes. Okay, so for the code section, in order to recreate the code I have there, I will use a block code tag and the fig caption tag. I've Google searched a bit how to create codes in my HTML file. And on CSS tricks, I found some tips, and I actually found an example that's very similar to the one I have in my project. And in this example, they use the figure tag, and inside it they put a block code tag for the actual code and the fig caption for the reference of the code. Okay, and this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna copy the figure with the class code because it's a good class that works also for my code. And I'm gonna wrap the figure tags around the block code and the fig caption. And inside each, I'm gonna add the text. Okay. There's another thing here in the instruction picture. They ask for the code to be light italic. I can actually make the text italic in my CSS file, but I think the right way to make it italic is here in my HTML with the EM tags to also emphasize it because it's a code, and I think it's good for the screen readers to see that this is a code somehow and is highlighted as being different than the other text that's on the page. So I'm gonna use EM tags. Okay, great. And now I have the code and the reference of the code underneath it. And my code is also italic, but actually it's emphasized more than italic. And I finished with the third section also. And now I will go to the sign up section. And inside the sign up container, I will add the elements that are inside the blue card, the text and the button. So the sign up container will actually be the blue card. And inside it, I will have to create one div for the left side, which has only text. And I will give this div a class of sign up text. Inside the sign up text, I will have an H3 heading for call to action. And below it, I will have a paragraph with the class of action text. I'm gonna zoom in to see better. And below the sign up text div, I will create a button with a class of sign up button or sign up BTN. Okay, let's see how it looks. The only thing that's left, it's the footer. And inside the div with the class footer, I will create a paragraph with the class footer text and add the text that's here. So copyright. And to make the copyright icon, I had to Google search copyright icon, and here I can just copy it. I'm gonna copy it from here. Looks similar. Let's see how it looks on the page. Great. I'm sure there are many other ways to make the copyright icon in the HTML file, but this was the fastest solution I could find, and it works on the page, so why not? And the Odin project 2021. And I'm done with the text and the buttons and the structure of the HTML file. I can git add and git commit all the changes. Okay, and the last thing I need to do to finish with the HTML file will be to add the images. I will have to move the images folder inside the landing page folder, which is my repository. And the fastest way to do it is with drag and drop. So I will drag the images folder inside the landing page folder and just drop it here. And I'm gonna be asked if I'm sure that I want to move the images into landing page, and I'll confirm by clicking move. Okay, now the images are inside my repository. I'll first git add and commit the changes. Okay, and because the images folder has several files, 5 specifically, when I added the folder in the staging area, I used a dot. So instead using git add and the name of each file, I just used git add and a dot. This way it's faster to add to the staging area several files. Gonna close this. Okay, and now I will go to my hero section. So inside the hero section, I have the hero image div, which contains an image with the class hero image written like this. And now, after I moved the images folder inside the landing page repository, I can add the source and I can add images. And the hero image is this one. Okay, let's see my image on the page. And of course, the size is huge. I'll have to add a width and resize the image to see it better on the page. And I will add a width of 550. Now I can see better the image because it's smaller. Okay, and if I also want to hard code the height, which I do, I can inspect, and here the image is 550 pixels width, and the height in Chrome DevTools under the computed tab shows 309, well, almost 310 pixels. So I will add height 310 and see what happens. Okay, not that big of a difference. I will also add an ALT with the text cute kitten for good practice. I'm gonna actually use the same text for all images because they are all with cute kittens. Okay, I will go to the info gallery now and add the pictures here inside each info card. So inside the first info card, I've already have the image tag, but I need to add classes to the images here also. So I will add a class of card image to know exactly which images I'm referring to. And I will start adding the sources to add the images also. I will copy the ALT attribute from the hero image. Again, the image is bigger, but I can add a width of, let's say, 180 pixels. Again, I can hardcode the height also by opening Chrome DevTools, and in the computed tab here, I can see 180 for the width and 225 for the height. Great. I'm gonna copy this to add to the rest of the images beside the sources. Then now I have all the images and I can add and commit the changes.